Kurdish Peshmerga forces, opposition forces, Iranians, are planning to enter and start a ground operation against Iran. Do you think this was true for the beginning of the war, then it changed, or it is still true?
The situation of the Kurdish forces on the ground and their effectiveness, their positions, the way they could be the answer to the current situation in the Middle East and in Iran in particular, it's basically unavoidable. Myself personally and my political party believes that we are a chance to a democratic Iran. We are a chance to come up with a solution, with an answer, with the situation that's unfolding right now on the ground. We believe that any changes in Iran, any kind of process in Iran to build a new democratic and plural Iran has to include the Kurds. There's no way that anyone that wants to make a change within Iran could actually ignore the effectiveness of the Kurds. We need to have some sort of understanding in terms of expectations to be able to go on with any sort of actions or operations on the ground.
The war was only starting, and then we heard that President Trump had a phone call with Mustafa Hijri, head of the Democratic Party of Iranian Kurdistan, your party. What was the call about?
I think it's pretty normal if the President of United States talks to very, very major, effective forces on the ground in Iran, that they are aligned with their goals. Since 1979, the Kurds, and in particular Democratic Party of Iranian Kurdistan, was the first force, the first political party that did not accept Islamic Republic as a governing model for Iran. And that's where the issues between the Kurds and Khomeini started back in 1979. And that's when Khomeini declared jihad against the Kurds. Khomeini sent General Chamran to Kurdistan back in 1980 and told him that the Kurdish land and the Kurdish blood and the Kurdish women are halal to my soldiers. And that was an official declaration of jihad against the Kurds at the time. So the struggle of the Kurds against Iranian regime was not started recently with this situation or because of this situation. We had started that struggle long time ago, and Democratic Party of Iranian Kurdistan is one of the very few movements that has managed to stay around the Iranian borders, in contact with its people, the ability of mobilizing their own people within Iranian Kurdistan. We have seen it in multiple occasions that the Kurdish parties, and in particular PDKI, has been able to mobilize people within Iran. And if you are the President of United States and you are in a war with Iran, and we think that Iran is a threat to the international stability, to international economy, to the regional stability, how come you wouldn't go and talk to a major opposition leader within Iran? And then we think that Mr. Hijri, our leader, is the correct address for them.
How can you relieve Turkey that forming some sort of autonomy for Kurds in Iran is not a threat to Turkey?
First of all, Turkey is very much concerned about the refugee status and the refugee crisis. The second part is that there is a huge Azeri Turk population inside Iran that, based on their historical approach of Turkey, they feel like they need to back up their brothers and sisters, which we totally understand that, because we do have our own brothers and sisters in different parts of Kurdistan, that we feel their pain, we feel their success, and we feel their failure as well. The third part is that Turkey is so-called afraid of terrorist activities or destabilizations at their borders. What I can tell you is, first of all, Iranian Kurdistan region has a huge border with Turkey. And that border is a chance for trade, for a lot of natural resources, for a lot of chances and abilities and opportunities for Turkish government to think about a bright potential in this area.
But Turkey is already making use of these borders. They have huge trade relationships with Iran. Why would they need a change of regime?
I believe that Turkey did not think or They believe that Iranian government would put everything on the table and would not escalate the situation to the current war that we see right now. But we see a war right now. We see the reality on the ground right now. You need to see those realities. I don't think that Iranian government, Iranian regime, the Islamic regime, will ever be able to go back to their status before 4 weeks ago. They should think about the potentials rather than the risks of having communication, open dialogue with the Kurds. Look at it, Kakalus. After 40 years of clashes within the borders of Turkey, now Turkey itself and Turkish leaders are saying that the solution to the Kurdish issue within the borders of Turkey are through dialogue and through negotiations and through peace.